I've talked quite a bit about what I'm building and my philosophy behind most choices that I've been making along this road. However, I don't think I've ever really talked about why. If you're new here, hi, my name is Owen, and this is the perfect episode for you to chime in. I myself have been a videographer for about 3 years now, professionally. And when I say professionally, I mean quit my 9 to 5. I've been completely self-employed as a freelancer. I have seen firsthand over the last few years, just through networking, working at coffee shops, working alongside friends, just being around other creative people, whether they're a fitness coach, a photographer, a DJ, whatever it is. And I've noticed that all freelance artists have the same problem. If I go back to my own story, I got into being a videographer because I loved making things with my camera. I was making short films, I was making little edits wherever I can, and then it got to the point where a light bulb kind of flicked, and I was like, why don't you do this for money? And it was a foreign topic at first, and then eventually when I got into it, I started actually making good money, and I started getting better and better the more people that I worked for. And what I noticed myself was that as I started to grow as a videographer, so I started to get better, I started charging more, I started working with new clients, however you gauge that, the amount of admin-based work I had to do was increasing like crazy. So at first, obviously, you're just making stuff for fun. There's zero admin. You're not invoicing, you're not emailing, you're not doing anything like that. But then as you get more and more traction as a creative, as an artist, you start to get a big accumulation of messages to respond to, like constantly having, let's see how many I got right now, 48 unread messages. And it's just every day I can respond to all of them, and then there'd be 96 by the evening. It makes no sense, but there's always unread messages. There's always emails. There's trying to future plan and trying to schedule yourself out. So trying to get future gigs, whether that be a shoot, a DJ event, an art installation, whatever it is. So there's always this like backtracking, trying to invoice, forward tracking, trying to schedule, and then also trying to pitch, and then also managing inbound messages and emails, and navigating everything becomes so frustrating because there's so much going on, and it's really easy to miss things. Fortunately though, as a creative artist, everyone has a workflow, everyone has a system that works for them. People do different things, but almost everybody is spread thin across many different tools, whether it be using Apple Notes, Google Sheets, Canva, Milanote. Everyone organizes things differently because you have to, otherwise you're kind of screwed. Everyone uses, either Google Calendar, Apple Calendar. I'd say those are the two main calendars, but people use some weird ones as well. And I'm just trying to emphasize that everybody is everywhere when it comes to dealing with all of these admin-based things that have no creativity associated with them. It's all boring admin-based work that nobody wants to do and nobody signed up for when they started following their passion and making it an actual career. So essentially, through, I guess, a few different realizations, like I was mentioning before, working with friends and sitting at coffee shops and hearing all these other people experiencing the same feelings as myself, if not even worse most of the time, something just flicked in my brain, and I was like, there's got to be a solution. And I was fortunate enough to be in, I'd say, a few pretty positive social circles with a lot of people working hard and doing big things. And through being a part of that, I came to realize how fast, how powerful, and how much potential AI actually has right now, and realizing I could build a full-scale app that before I thought would cost millions of dollars and a bunch of manpower and so many hours. I can just take all that and build it with AI. It blew my mind. So yeah, essentially I've just been using a bunch of a bunch of different tools that I'm not going to get into because it's not relevant, but the speed of deployment for something like this has blown my mind. And being a videographer that works for himself, that now has the potential to solve a problem for a huge group of people, like just being able to say that and being able to do that and have something that works alone is like, it blows my mind. But that is the whole backstory for what kind of led me to this point and what led me to want to put down my camera and really dive into this. I think perfect world for me is that I'm running this, I'm constantly making it better, constantly helping people in as many ways as I can, and this can fund my life. However, I love shooting things. I love going to festivals, and I love making little recap edits and stuff. So perfect world for me is, I'm all in on this, on Sonaflow. However, when shoots come up, I can still take them. I can take a few days off to go and film a festival, or I can take an afternoon off to go help a Pilates studio down the street, whatever it is. I think that's the perfect world for me with this project, and just trying to simplify that chaos for as many people as possible. And once it's working, I really think it has the potential to do that, which is so exciting. So exciting. But the launch is, at the time you're watching this video, actually about a week away. And then everything will change. So yeah, that's exactly where things are at right now. And it's a little backstory for anybody that's been watching along.